A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back yet with another program of Management Accounting Insights into Business Risk Sustainability through Cost Management. You're well aware that your board is very keen to ensure that we give the best to you. And today's program is such a hit program. We have close to 2,000 people who have tuned in simply because they understand that honing of technical skills is the best which any professional can have in his life. And particularly the management accountants, they are people with a different bent of mind. They have to perform and they have to, more importantly, not only serve their clients or stakeholders, they have to serve the regulators, the government, and all people who are an integral part of the system. So over to Mr. Ajay Huda. I want to thank Mr. Ajay Huda, the chairman of Rohtak branch, who has very kindly consented to be the host of this program. I have Mr. Parag Parekh, a very senior professional who has very kindly consented to be the chief guest of the program. We have Mr. Padmanabhan K. Madhavan, who has very kindly consented to be the speaker of today's session. I also have with me Sia Harpreet Singh Kharbanda, chartered accountant from Ludhiana, who has very kindly consented to take and to do the master of ceremony responsibility for this program. Over to Mr. Huda. Mr. Huda, please unmute yourself. The dais is all yours. Please. Mr. Huda, you have to unmute yourself. Unmute.
Thank you, sir.
Very good.
Sir, now unmute. So thank you, sir. On behalf of Rohtak branch of NAIC of ICI, with folded hand, good evening to all the respected member, Central Council member and Chairman of Committee of Management Accounting of ICICI Charan Joseph Singh Nanda ji, and Central Council member and Vice Chairman C. Nankishore Hegde ji, and today our guest, chief guest and guest speakers. Before starting with folded head, I am requesting to everyone, please stay home, stay safe and help the needy person around you. Now it is my pleasure to introduce one of the most experienced Central Council members, C. Charan Joseph Nanda ji. वैसे तो इनका इंट्रोडक्शन करना सूरज को दिया दिखाने के बराबर है. Nanda ji is Central Council member for 2019 and 2022. Served the profession as elected member since 1998. Nanda ji was the chairman of NARC in year 2002-2003. After that, sir was elected as Central Council member from 2004 to 2016 continuously and heading various committee of ICI. Currently, sir is the chairman of Committee of Internal Audit Standard Board of ICI and a chairman of Committee of Management Accounting, Function Committee, Social Responsibility Committee of ICI, and Vice Chairman of Banking, Finance Service and Insurance Committee of ICI. Sir is a member on board of 26 Committee of ICI. Sir is nominated member of IIS Standing Committee for Implementation of Risk-Based Capital Regime. Member of Quality Review Board set up by the Government of India. Sir, author of the book of the Practical Guidance on Audit Documentation for Statutory Branch Audit. Sir, also contribute as a guest speaker on various platforms, national and internationally, and always ready to help the members. Sir, जितना बोले उतना ही कम है. Now I am requested to most experienced Central Council member with folded hands and handed over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ajay Huda ji, the Honorable Chairman of Rohtak branch, for hosting this program. Ladies and gentlemen, I first of all want to put on record my sincere compliments for Mr. Parag Parekh, CFO of Adani Total Gas Limited, who's the chief guest of the day and who shall give his keynote address. I also have with me CA KM Padmanabhan, who would take care of the topic business and sustainability through cost management under the aegis of C. Harpreet Singh Kharbanda, who would take it through. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to put across one very important facet of today's times. You all are aware that we have all been put to a standstill, and you are aware that the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India was set up an Act of Parliament way back on 1st July 1949, when the most important document to the democracy, the Constitution, was not adopted. All of you are well aware that the Constitution to this country was adopted on 26th January 1950. The pertinent question that arises is, what prompted the Constituent Assembly to set up an Institute of Chartered Accountants of India even before setting up their own democratic outfit? The answer is very simple, very candid, very forthcoming. They were looking for a disciplined band of soldiers to steer this country out of confusion. Today also the circumstances are not different. I am reminded of a couplet which says, "ये महामारी का कोप है, ये महामारी का कोप है, किसी को कोस करना कम हो जाएगा, कुछ गीत गाओ हिम्मत भरे, दर्द थोड़ा बहुत तो कम हो जाएगा." It is time when you have to speak to your friends, discuss with them and ensure that the pain comes to the minimal level. We have to understand that the times are not good. Times have totally been on a different notion. Your committee thought it fit to hold a program on business risk sustainability through cost controls. You are aware that many of the important business and economic lists are directly linked to environmental and social issues, and that is very, very important. This includes both threats and opportunities, not only in relation to reputation, but even more importantly, in relation to the innovation capabilities and legislative changes which inevitably creep in and try to impact the sustainability driven markets. It is, however, clear that through cost management mechanisms such as sustainability business risks can mitigate adverse effect on companies and they can be systematically identified and managed. Very, very important how you first identify a risk, mitigate the risk and ensure that that risk does not creep in anytime in future. A business moving closer towards the collapse of environment and social systems leads to increasing sustainability related threats for unsustainable business and increased opportunity for sustainable businesses. Disruption has become a great opportunity for people, for entrepreneurs to step in. Cost management is found to be a promising way for maneuvering in a smart zone between being too passive and being too proactive in relation to business risk sustainability. We have to have a balanced approach. I would like to share some key steps to achieve an integration of business risk sustainability through cost management. The first is identifying the effects of sustainability issues on internal and external stakeholder value. If you are able to identify that, you know the real position, you can benchmark upon that area. Second, actively including sustainability in objective setting and cascading objectives across the level of organizational hierarchy, where every concept is understood in a better fashion. Third, developing concrete support for identifying, assessing, and managing economic sustainability risks. Thereby, companies can enhance their competitiveness using cost management as a tool to prevent business risks and to boost sustainability. What are the risks and issues? First, failure to forecast. We are not able to forecast the issues that may creep in and the data which may not be taken from the right areas. Second, unable to pinpoint improvement opportunities. Once, as a cost or management accountant, when you go in, you have to focus on the initiatives in cost reduction, which is very, very important. How effectively the labor time is used, how the overhead costs are kept at the right end. Third, poor support for inter-organizational cost management. Very, very serious issue. One of the major issues is that due to many folded supplier network exists in supply chains between key suppliers and customers. So these discoherent thought process have created a lot of bottlenecks which ultimately doesn't allow them to move. The fourth, budgeting in dynamic situations. Yes, ever moving budget is very, very important. Each and every activity involved in product delivery process is benchmarked with a budget. Therefore, Mr. Parag will who is the CFO of such a big company and such a big group, would be able to focus on the fact that early creation of a budget disempowers the front line, as the dynamic situations in any industry may demand a more flexible and a responsive approach towards budgeting. So in a nutshell, to conclude, the business risk in cost management leads to inaccurate price of a project or product. If you look at startups, they have failed in such numbers because they could not identify the price. Secondly, suboptimal solutions, quality defects, and rework reduce growth of labor productivity. Labor productivity is a key input, and therefore, if it is not calculated properly, it comes to inaccurate pricing, reduce product flexibility, increase resource consumption, making wrong decisions, cost accumulation to the customer, cash flow problems, and bad financial planning, which endangers the sustainability. So, cost management requires transparency in the cost to improve. And therefore, we have Mr. Padmanabhan and Mr. Parekh who have the in-hand knowledge of these entire things. I'm sure Mr. Parekh, being at the helm of the affairs, would have so many case studies wherein he would have encountered so many problems. And Mr. Padmanabhan, a man with a great, varied career, understands how things have to be mitigated, how problems have to be mitigated. So, not taking much of your time, I want to compliment all who have come here with a small couplet. The couplet says, Manzil mil hi jayegi, thoda bhatakkar hi sahi. मंजिल मिल ही जाएगी थोड़ा भटक कर ही सही गुमराह तो वो है जो घरों से निकले ही नहीं. The English version is that with little struggle you will have your destination. People who are sitting at home are people who would not gain anything. So on a Monday evening at 6 o'clock, if you have thrown in such great numbers with 200,000 people, you are bound to success. And for that, your board is very passionately associated. Very passionately, the boards want to give you the best in the terms of the keynote speaker, terms in the actual speaker who would take you through all the nuances of cost management. So, ladies and gentlemen, over to Mr. Harpreet Singh, the man who would take the entire thing. So, Mr. Kharbanda, the dice is all yours.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. As always, amazing beginning to the session by our sir. In his dialogue, he makes the things so amazing. Whatever we say, it is less. Amazing, sir. Your thoughts, especially about key steps and identifying the problems and pinpointing the problem. That is really very important. So now, friends, my good evening to all my friends from Rohtak and North India, to our guest, Mr. Parekh, to our speaker today, Mr. K.M. Padmanabhan. A warm welcome to all of you. We introduce chief guest. अपने दिल की एक बात जरूर आपसे शेयर करना चाहूंगा. कहते हैं जब हम किसी के बारे में अपना ओपिनियन देते हैं, तो basically it is not opinion about that person. We are showing ourselves. And when we are giving somebody's introduction, if like something really, it is bound to get you to level of that person. We have not to be jealous of the achievements or the achievements of the person, but we have to, I'm short of words, we have to appreciate, we have to thank to God what an amazing personality, and I am getting the opportunity to introduce. So let me start with the chief guest of the day, Mr. Parag Parekh, Chief Financial of Adani Total Gas. A brief biodata of Mr. Parag Parekh is MBA Finance and has also attended the Senior Leadership Program with INSEAD University and brings with him more than 22 years of experience in the field of debt and equity finance. It's amazing, sir. 22 years of experience. Wonderful. He has been associated with various organizations like Gammon Infrastructure Projects Limited, GMR Group, before joining Adani Total Gas Limited. He has experience in various facets of finance accounts with expertise in funds raising management, devising financial strategies, and operation finance. Mr. Parekh was associated with GMR Group as Group Head, Project Finance and Structured Finance. He also served as the CFO of GMR. He started his Gammon Infrastructure Project at Gammon Infrastructure Project Limited in 1999. And at the time of leaving in 2014, he was designated as Executive Director and CFO. His notable achievements include financial closures, e-financing and scrutinization of road and power projects. Beside project financial closures, he has also done corporate restructuring, corporate finance, raised equity capital via disinvestments of assets, equity offerings like QIP, private equity, and was responsible for investor relations for the capital markets. Notably, he was the CFO and spearheaded the IPO in the past. He has completed his master's in both business administration, finance, and commerce. पर जब सीए करने लगे थे ना तो पहले दिमाग में आया था कि एमडी, बट वो पहले की भी हिम्मत नहीं हुई थी. You have done in 2. It's really amazing. Then he didn't stop here. He has also done an executive program in leadership and strategy from INST. So now I request the man who comes with so much experience to share his views on today's topic, which is very apt in today's and always business risk sustainability through cost management. So Parag Parikh sir, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. Firstly, Mr. Nanda and WRC for inviting me. Thank you very much for the kind introduction, Arpit that you have given. Friends, I hope firstly each one of you, your family members, all are safe, all are taking due precautions. It's been quite a learning on how a pandemic, which can hit the entire nation and global countries, how humans, businesses are responding to this situation. And that's, I think, a very, very big learning that we must take. We must take the takeaways from there to imbibe in our businesses and make sure that these learnings are fortified in terms of business to come. So I think thank you very much for that first. The topic for today is very, very apt. It's about business risks and sustainability through cost management. And this even gets more important in the current times. Invariably, every entity, every business must go through a cost management. And these are either for two reasons. One, either for survival of companies or for having a cost advantage, a competitive advantage over other companies. So these are the two prime reasons why we should have this. And it's about funding the entire journey through the cost management to see what is quick to implement in terms of areas, aligning the revenue to the cost levers so that we know what cost can impact actually the revenues. And it's therefore rethinking about value. History says, and a lot of studies suggest, that once a cost management is fully implemented, it actually can lead to almost 35% of increase in total shareholder value in the first year itself. And if one were to bring this up for a period of 3 years, then such shareholder returns can actually go up by 50%. I think my reason of mentioning this was only to magnify the importance of cost management for us. This cost management is not just an exercise of putting a target in silos and to say this is the cost that we need to see in the next year's budget. I think that doesn't work fruitfully for the business. It's not about bringing the cost down. It is about putting a strategic lens on yourselves and to see that how agile, how flexible can we be, which supports both growth in future as well as resilience in case of any future impacts, changes, risks, like today we are going through a pandemic. And to make sure that these cost management exercises are fully implemented and successful, it is important that there's a very strong cross-functional team that is deployed and centrally managed plan to make sure that a cost management assessment for sustainability is being done. It also requires a cultural shift and possibly even questioning the core values of the business on how it was being done. There are many times and occasions where you have answers. This is how we've always done it. But it is very important to question the status quo. It is very important to question the normal. And some of the very important learnings that have happened over the last 12 months are in terms of the discretionary spend. Things like revaluing. Do we need a physical real estate? Do we really need offices to operate? Does everybody need to travel? Does your salesman says that no, I need to go to the ground to do my work? All of this has to get re-questioned. This status quo has to get re-questioned in the light of the learnings that pandemic has given us, in terms of the learnings that technology has given, that how technology and digitalization is helping. Look at a very classic current example. Today we have 2000 plus members out here, all linked online and having a webinar together. So I think the point is the saving of cost, the saving of travel, the saving of time, and therefore the discretionary spend that is being done in laying down a budget, in laying down, the business plan of an organization should be seen. A reprioritization has to be done in terms of investments on where we need to spend. And sometimes, for a very effective cost management, it is important that there is some spending that is required to be done in terms of possibly technology, possibly in terms of remodeling your current cost expenditure. But in the long run, these are, items which give a lot of benefit, and this needs to get understood culturally and across the organization. So these are very, very important things. There are three in my mind, three sort of steps, which can help in terms of implementing a cost management exercise for sustainability. A very quick initial rapid assessment has to be done in identifying the priorities, the biggest cost levers, which can impact the P&L, the balance sheet of the business. Once having identified that, the second step in my mind would be to look at some quick wins, run some pilot projects, look at the tangible earnings, that can immediately get demonstrated under the P&L. That helps in designing, implementing a long-term strategy, as well as it allows, a far stronger buy-in in a cultural shift of an organization when we talk about cost management. And third, once you have implemented and designed the pilots, it's about scaling up. And this scaling up can be in terms of products, could be in terms of different territories, or in terms of different segments. So to take an example, at Adani Total Gas, when we are operating in different areas, we picked up one small item on travel, and we said, let us see a change in policy in this region, in this area. How is it implemented and how it is helping us? Once having convinced that it's an item which could possibly be saved, we actually, started implementing this across pan-India for our geography. So that's very, very important. Second, in my mind, it's very important to create a very strong action plan for this. For example, you should create a very strong cost strategy, that have a higher chances of adoption in the current evolving environment. You must be bold in setting up your cost strategy, as it's very, very important to question the status quo as far as your cost, your back office operations are concerned. Third, have a very strong cost discipline. And this discipline should not be sacrificed for want of revenue growth or short-sighted strategies. As I said, it is important to look at cost management from a broader perspective, from a strategic lens perspective, on what it can do over a period of time in terms of savings by changing and putting in a new normal, rather than to say that this is the target and this is what each of the departments or each of the businesses or units must achieve. That doesn't do good. Fourth, to make sure that this becomes a very successful strategy across the organization, set up a very clear ownership and accountability for such cost management across all levels of the finance organization. What you could also do is there's a very, very unique way of implementing this, of identifying a few champions, the chief cost owners, and these chief cost owners could be made responsible for a single cost item. For example, you could, identify one person, who overall across the organization is looking at, are these the real estates and are these the offices that I really need? Are these the warehouses do I need? You could actually have another champion who says, do I really need this travel costs across? Is my travel policy in line with the new normal? So various sort of TCOs, as I say, should be appointed, which help in terms of bringing a cultural change, as well as bringing in far more ownership and accountability, question the status quo. Then set a very clear and a transparent cost driver, which is based on data and data analytics. I think, again, as I said, it's not about bringing in just a cost item down, but backed with enough rationale, reason, and with historic data and analytics on it, which will help in imbibing that cost culture. And finally, as I said, this has to get embedded across the entire organization. And once it is embedded across the entire organization, it will create a very, very strong cost management which can be sustainable. As and when you start implementing this, in the beginning, there'll be a very, very strong reaction to this. And the organization needs to grapple with the ripple effects that the finance teams can create across the entire organization. There are unprecedented events, there are efforts, to be made to make sure that this ripple effect is explained well. Two, there needs to be resilience when there is a cost management exercise being implemented. Every action has to be explained out correctly. Things like preserving cash, things like giving confidence to customers, your own employees, that it's a cost management exercise for the benefit for the long term and for the future. And it's not just a target that is being achieved by everybody. Third, recovery. Once you see this cost management exercise being implemented across the organization, slowly you will start seeing the fruits of this implementation. You will start seeing the performances getting delivered in a so-called initial new normal. And fourth, finally, I think once, some of these tests are being done, you will move into a new reality. You should embrace that new reality. And today, digital and technology are becoming a very, very strong backbone in terms of making sure that these costs are being minimized in a strategic way. One of the initiatives that we are actually doing, as an organization is a A2D or an analog to digital project. And the entire initiative is actually towards saying that can we map every standard operating procedure of the organization, see how this is being done manually, and is there a way for one to see that can this be replaced through digital technology? If yes, then there is actually a pilot being run to make sure that these are being automated. And we have a very strong, shared service function where we are actually today automating almost 35 processes across the organization. And I need not add, but the digital cost, in the beginning may look bigger because you are investing, into digital technology. But the long run, in terms of accuracy, in terms of reliability, and in terms of cost, is much, much lower. So these are the things which are very, very important in terms of implementing it. There are different finance cost levers, and it's important all these cost levers, be it technology, be it sourcing or location, people, processes, the org structure, all of this have to be seen together in a full perspective to make sure that this cost management is implemented. Finally, I think I will leave with a few thoughts. One of the most achievable way to look at cost management for sustainability is through zero-based budgeting. And zero-based budgeting is something which questions the normal way of operating. Few pointers on how one should look at implementing the zero-based budgeting. Set up an executive team, and the management needs to walk the talk. You should certainly look at, not just cost cutting, but actually a cost saving through investment. I gave you the thought process of the CCO and expand the accountability around that. Promote every decision making based on rationale on why you believe that this cost can be saved rather than to just put a target in a silo. Embedded into your IT systems and processes so that they are nurtured right into the culture of the organization. And along with that, incentivize the performance or the acts. So for every cost saving, there's an incentive that is being built for every individual, be it in his KPIs, be it in his KRAs, which makes sure that the organization works towards this. Finally, you should put the right talent to work so that the right people are positioned at the right place for having a sustainable cost management. A few sort of talking points I would mention in terms of how we've seen this as saving, be it in terms of inventory management. be it in terms of implementation of a very good risk management policy, including things like raw material, forex hedging, transport cost optimization, the use of AI in technology. Look at synergies with group in case you are in a larger group, and as well as look at building a very strong vendor management, vendor development, and a very strong centralized procurement. I think these are some of the things that will really help in terms of making sure that there is a very, very effective cost management. So thank you very much. I hope I have been able to give you insightful things on how to look at business risk sustainability, learnings through the pandemic in terms of cost management. Thank you everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Parak, for a very scintillating and mind-boggling presentation, I should say. You brought out very pertinent points and made the task of Mr. Padmanabhan easy so that he can dwell upon very focused areas which you have outlined. Really great, sir. We would want to invite you for a full session. The participant will be more than happy to listen to your words of wisdom. Thank you so much. Over to Mr. Singh for his indulgence. Mr. Singh, the dice is all yours.
Parik sir, really amazing. आपके 15 मिनट. You have taken me back to my school days. स्कूल बॉस हो गए, मुहावरे पढ़ते थे, तो एक मुहावरा याद आ गया आपकी बातें सुन के, आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन से. सागर में गागर, गागर में सागर. आपने लिटरली सर 15-20 मिनट के अंदर इतना कुछ बता दिया. एंड आई मस्ट से मैनी ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स माइट बी थिंकिंग कि जो चीजें बोली गई हैं ये क्या ग्रुप पॉसिबल है. I think the 3 steps you have told regarding assessment, regarding starting the pilot project and scaling up, we can do even as a chartered accountant in our offices. But normally what happens, we don't have processes in place. We keep on running for the business, we keep on running serving the clients. We don't give time to ourselves to create system in ours. And if we are creating a system, these 3 things, assessment, pilot project, and scaling up, it is really going to help a lot. So, sir, thank you very much for your nice deliberation. Thank you very much. And now, it gives me the opportunity to introduce the speaker of the day. Sir, मेरे पास जब बायोडाटा आया, I had 2 thoughts. इतना पढ़ना पड़ेगा, तो मैं इसको थोड़ा सा कट शॉर्ट कर दूंगा. एक तो ये आया मेरे दिमाग में. फिर आया कि नहीं, I should take this opportunity. ज्यादा बोलने का मौका मिल रहा है और इतना कुछ है. अगर हमने इतना कुछ हासिल किया और सामने वाला उसको पढ़ ही नहीं रहा, तो there is no fun as well. So sir, I would like to go through your full biodata. बोलने से पहले ही सर का बायोडाटा as big as his name, AM पद्मनाभन सर. और जब आज मैंने ये ज्वाइन किया तो पता लगा M का फुल फॉर्म दैट इज माधवन, राइट सर. So sir has been independent director of ONGC, the Maharatna company, and the former independent director of RINL, the Navratna company. Sir is a chartered accountant by profession and is a trainer by passion. फिर ये लाइन ना मैं कहीं कहीं अपने लिए भी यूज कर लेता हूँ. I am also a budding trainer, so I will keep in touch with you. He has been involved in training for last 30 years. Amazing, amazing, sir. He has been conducting training and consulting for small and medium-sized companies. He has also undergone courses conducted by Strategic Management Forum of Advanced Strategies of Case Teaching at local Harvard Business School, Boston, and at Harvard Shanghai Center, China. He has also trained in Kaizen strategies of cost reduction. That's why he is here today. He is also certified yoga instructor from Swami Vivekananda Yoga Foundation, Bangalore, deemed university. He is also a certified NLP trainer. He is visiting faculty in the area of finance and control at Indian Institute of Management, Indore. He is a guest faculty for the seminars organized for independent directors by Department of Public Enterprises. He is guest faculty in IFMR, MMA, Anna University, and number of management institute, chartered accountant of India and other institutes in Chennai. His training had benefited more than 2 lakh persons from all levels of management and more than 12,500 young chartered accountants and more than 5 lakh chartered accountant students, engineering and MBA students have been benefited from his training till date. He had served as a managing committee member of Madras Management Association for 3 times. He is also founder secretary of Case Research Society of India, committed to spread the case method of teaching as a preferred method of teaching of management subjects among management teachers. So he is not only training to students, he is training to teachers. Presently, he is the director of Prerna Educational Media Private Limited, Chennai. He had also served as subcommittee member of Economic Affairs and Taxation Committee of CII Southern Region. He had been interviewed in Venkum, Tamizam Sun TV, Ali Malar, Jaya TV, and Doordarshan had anchored live discussion on Union Budget in Portugal channel. Sir, amazing, amazing, and I must tell all my fellow friends, you are going to enjoy his session a lot. I am really excited, sir. So with this excitement and with your lovely smile, this stage is all yours.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
sir. Thanks. We are truly honored to have a person of your stature coming and blessing us all. A great honor
Thank you.
accorded to us, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Please,
you, sir. Thank
please,
you
sir.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much, Nandaji. You are a great inspiration. No, I've been listening to you for a long time, but today I had honor that you being there today. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Harpreet. Harpreet is actually important. Na? Harpreet means Preet, lovely to God. Such a great. And Mr. Parag, they're excellent. You actually gave a kind of insight. What is that we are all going to discuss? Of course, we are going to have our Nandakishore Hegde at last. So thank you very much for all of you and Huda. Otherwise, if the host is not there, what all of us can do? So I thank you very much, and I also thank you for the kind introduction. And I always say, if you want to have a good say about you, you need to have good friends. Looks like I've been blessed to have good friends here. Okay. So one important thing I learned from Mr. Parag, I want to recognize here. In a program like this, in cost management, it is very important we recognize the importance of time. And he has done wonderfully well. What it means. So if you can manage your time, you can manage everything. You can manage everything. Believe me, that's the most important thing. Because time is a resource. Because time is so much available, we don't value it. Today we value time because we are not able to go anywhere. We are getting stuck. Okay? And today we have come to a stage where we need to look at cost, whether we like it or not. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to kind of take you through my presentation because I think that's the most important thing. Okay, let me share the screen with you. Yes. Hello, are you able to see that?
Yes, sir. Very much.
Yeah,
Yes,
very
sir.
good. So, let me go. Very good. So, one of the things here, the management, when we are talking about management accounting, we need to understand it is simply not cost accounting alone. It is both financial accounting and the cost accounting. The way that can help the industry or a company to achieve its objective. Now, let's understand. Now, what is the objective of any company can be? To take care of the stakeholders. When you say, I want to take care of the stakeholders, what is the most important thing? Then you need to have a very good, sound bottom line. If it is not a bottom line, you cannot have. Because one of the things we need to understand, our country has come a long way from the way of socialistic pattern of thinking to today's terms, where making money is not considered to be a sin. If you look at the old movies, what it came about 30 years back, you will find all the villains to be rich people. Okay? and all the poor people will be heroes. But now, if you look at movies, the entire thing has changed. Today, all heroes are very rich people. Very interesting. The point I'm saying is, today, the country has started respecting money and creators of money. Okay, that's the first thing I want to recognize here. It is not easy to create money. Believe me. If you ask, see, all of us are in profession today. If you ask our client, they will tell you, they cry. It is not the tears that is coming, it's the blood is coming. Because such a difficult thing people are going through for what? To sustain the business. So that we need to be very clear in our mind. Okay, so let's move forward. First, let's understand what is business risk. Business risk, when you are talking about, is the possibility of an occurrence unfavorable. It happens in a way that all the plans to make money, to contribute to the society has gone. So this is important. So can you understand that there is a risk? We are talking about business risk. There are a lot of risk is there. Accounting risk is there. That is why the scandal, Satyam scandal, is because of accounting risk. Control system has failed. The point I'm saying is, here when we are talking about business risk, we are going to be very focused. We are not going to talk everything. We are only going to talk about the decrease in market share, loss of important suppliers or customers, unexpected financial loss. These are the kind of things that can happen. Okay. So when you say unexpected financial loss, how it happens? Today, COVID situation is that. Okay. All of us have done back audit, then we can know the kind of pain the people have been going through. Okay. That is something we need to recognize. Okay. The pain is real. Now, how do you come out of it? How do you come out? So for that, you need to understand nature of business risks. Uncertainties an essential part of business. You can't wish away risk. Okay? It will be there. Now, how do you manage it? Okay? Degree of risk depends on the nature. Profit is the reward for bearing the risk. So let's understand. If you are not a risk taker, you can't be in business. The first thing. Okay, that is what sets entrepreneur to be different from the executive. So I want you to understand this very, very clearly. Okay. So even the executives like our Parekh, who are done well because of the entrepreneurial spirit they have. What they call today, the new term has come for that, intrapreneur. Okay. That is important. So at the end of the day, okay, at the beginning of the day, at the middle of the day, at any time in a business, it's very important to handle risk. Right. So when you're talking about risk, let's understand a product. Okay. Today, what is the big problem that we are having today? If you look at it, all the factories are down, which means what? Whether you like it or not, the cost, the fixed cost is there. You can't wish away. So when you're talking about a product, what do you have to do? You have to take full cost. You can say marginal cost and all. So marginal cost, all those discounting costs, when can all these things happen? That all can be done for a small period of time. That cannot be done for a long period of time. Okay. This we need to understand. So, if you have to understand that, what is important is, we need to understand full cycle cost management. Okay, the entire cost we'll have to understand. Only then we'll be able to understand, we'll be able to do something for the cost structure. Okay, otherwise, it is not at all possible. So, that is where we are looking at it. So, which means what? When you're talking cost management, it is not only one simple technique. There are multiple techniques to be involved depending on the nature of the risk and nature of the problem. Okay? This is something I thought we need to bring. But if you look at literature, everything today what people are talking, thanks to the influence of target cost by Toyota company, today we say, if you cannot do anything at the design stage, you can't do anything. Okay? So that is a myth. That is a myth. Okay? That is what we are going to see. More people are saying, all the experts are saying, If you don't control the cost at the design stage itself, your company is bound to lose. You can't do anything. Of course, we are not saying it is not important. It is important. Why it's important? We can see that. Today, you make a cost. You are asking cost of everything. You know, cost is like a god. Okay, cost is like God. So you are talking about cost of production, cost of sales, cost of inventory, everything you are talking about cost. Then what is the cost of the full cycle? That is important. From start to end. What you call value chain. So that value chain will have, the concept will have to be taken into account. Only then we'll be able to do. So if when you are talking about target costing, all the academians and the practitioners have been saying, what? If you don't do anything at the design stage, you are bound to lose. I'm not saying you don't have to do anything at the design. That is important. And also you need to talk about cutting the cost throughout the value chain. So that is exactly what we are going to cover. Okay. So please understand, when you're talking about full cycle cost management, we are talking from a design stage to going to the customer and even maintaining all kind of things. Every possible way you need to bring down the cost. Okay, right. What is the cost of the product when you say? Commonly quoted of statistics say that 80% of the cost is because determined at the design stage itself. Which means what? You can't do anything. Okay. This is something is a dominant view today in the manufacturing. So the case study what I'm going to talk is we are going to bust the myth. Okay, that is exactly what I'm going to share. Right. We are going to take the company called Olympus Optical Japan as a case study. Okay, it has been done. I will give you the reference at the end of the session. I will also post this. Mr. Nyan, CA Nyan can actually send it to people who are interested. That we'll do. But meanwhile, I'll also given the reference of this case study at the end of my session. Okay, we are talking about Olympus Optical Japan. The Olympus Optical, if you look at it, they have brought down significant cost reduction in manufacturing. Okay, and in all other things. Large percentage of the product's cost are the design. Of course, Olympus Optical Division produced high technology products with short life cycle. Okay, this is a challenge today because the design, the interest of the people, taste of the people are going on changing. There was a time when you're talking about Toyota car company, for making a car from design board to road, it took about 4 years. Now they are doing in 2 to 3 months. Imagine the kind of time they have shortened there. So from 4 years to 2 to 3 months. So which means what? So much of cost, so much of investment at the design stage itself is being handled. Okay, this is what important thing. That is why people are insisting that it has to be done at the stage itself. Let's go about it. Olympus Optical Division is produced with high technology products with short life cycle. Which means what? You put so much effort, it is not that. After some time, everything has changed. Consumers are not interested. So what do you do with all the technology? All the money that you invested? So your judgment becomes a very important thing here. Okay? Which favors high level of designed in cost implies that there are fewer opportunities for cost management during the manufacturing phase. Okay. Now, why again Olympus Optical is known to operate in a very competitive market. Competitive market means what? What our Parik was speaking, no? He said cost competitive. If you are not cost competitive, you will die. Okay? Please understand, Olympus Optical was in that atmosphere where it is highly cost competitive, which means what? You cannot afford to increase the cost. You cannot afford to mismanagement. That freedom is not there. Okay. Now, cost is there. Whether you like it or not, that cost you will have to incur. So can you pass on the cost to the consumer? No, sorry. Consumer will pay only for the things what he is interested. He will not be willing to pay for your goof ups. Let's understand this. So, as environment to ensure that cost management systems are documented. Okay. Second, Olympus Optical was reputed to have a mature and sophisticated cost management program. This is very, 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 very important. Very important. The cost management is the key for anybody's survival. Okay. Third, Consumer Products Division was known to operate as a lean enterprise. What do you call by lean? All of you know. Just in time concept, no? That's called lean, which means only to the extent is required, you keep inventory or anything for that matter. Then that is called lean enterprise. We call lean and mean. Mean what? I don't want to spend any money on things which are not required. Okay, that is why you call lean and mean. That's exactly what we are talking about Olympus Optical. Okay, so that is why this company has been taken and this division has been taken for the case study. Okay, right. New stylus zoom, point and shoot compact camera has been taken for our study. Okay. Why? It has been done so much. We have done so much here. It contains mechanical part, all kind of electronic. You have got glass. Everything is there. Now, how do you bring down the cost? When you say you bring down the cost, it doesn't mean you reduce the cost and make it unworthy. No, that is not what we are talking about. The futures, what the consumer wants, you should be able to give without compromising. Okay, that is important. When we are talking about target cost, we will talk in elaborately. Okay, so I want you to know why we have chosen this. Right. Criteria of choice. First, Olympus Optical Management viewed the project creating significant technical production challenges for the product engineering. So when you are taking some project, okay, it should be competitive, it should be challenging. Okay, only then the champions will come out of that. So once you do that, once you document, what is the advantage? You will be able to replicate across the industry, entire company. So that is why the management had taken. Second, the stylus zoom is being developed during the period of yen appreciation. So please understand. When you're talking about Japan, the main focus of the Japanese is export. They make and export. So which means what? Because of the yen appreciation, what happens? When they export it, the price of the product becomes very higher. Okay? Then what to do? What to do? Just think about what to do. Then it won't be affordable. So what will have to do? They have to bring down the cost. Please understand. When you are talking about cost reduction, I want you to know there should be some compulsion. If the compulsion is not there, my dear friends, please understand, we'll do nothing about it. The compulsion is not there, complacence will set in. Okay, this is something we need to be very clear. Okay, right. Let's understand. When we are talking about Olympus Optical, the 5 techniques for managing cost. First, we talked about target costing. Target costing, when you are talking about what? Please understand this. What is most important when you are talking about target costing is, this is something you don't have a control on what? You don't have a control on the price of the product. So you want to sell camera. At what price you want to sell? You may want to sell at the maximum price that is possible. But the consumer will decide at what price he wants to give. So first and foremost important thing is you have to make clear what price the customers are willing to pay for your product. So that is called target price. That is non-negotiable. It is not in your hand. That's the point I'm saying. It's not in your hand. Okay? So you don't have any control whatsoever on that. That's one. How much profit you will have to make? Do the industry have a control? No. Why? That is decided by the stakeholders. The shareholders will demand dividends. You are taking borrowing from the bank, you need to pay for them. Your employees are there. Every year you need to give them bonus and all kind of things. So everything's become important, which means what? The kind of money that you need to make for yourself is very clear. That is non-negotiable. In other words, I call it profit. Target price minus the money what you want to have, profit. Now, as accountants, as a financial accountant, as a chartered accountants, how we have been trained to look at it? We are trained to look at as a profit as a residual figure. It is, we know after everything is over, you look at profit. That is why you call it bottom line. Okay, but when it comes to management accounting, that is not the way we look at it. We are saying, yes, that is the most important thing. How much money I need to make is the most important thing. The bottom line, what we call, is the focus. So it is not residue. Okay, you do something and I don't think whatever I get it is okay. No, sorry. This is what I want to have. Okay, please keep that in mind. Which means we talked about the 3 component variable we are talking about. The first variable called the sales price, you don't have a control over it. What profit will not have what moment, how much quantum you don't have. Some minimum. Okay, more than that is good, but the minimum again you don't have a control. And only control you can have over is cost. Okay, that is why cost management is very critical. Okay, first, let's understand this. You can't say, my cost has gone up, so I will charge more money. No. You can see that now today, if you're looking at our Serum Institute, the CEO has gone to London. Why? There's so much pressure. He is not getting raw material. He is not getting this. Government is, all the state governments are putting pressure on them. You have to supply us at this cost. No, you can't do that. You need to pay. We don't understand that. Because whatever kind of demand, whatever he has agreed to kind of sell, produce for export, he has to do. If he is not done, then they will take him. He had to pay in the international court. He had to face the consequences of that. Understand this. So compliance with the contract and legal things are also very important. So when you are doing all these things, I want you to understand, you have to take it very, very clearly. You can't leave anything to chance. So when you're talking about target costing, the product design will have to take into account. Okay? So why? Because cost is the only thing under our control. If you can't do anything about it, there is no point in being an executive or a chartered accountant or cost accountant or anything. Right? The second will be Kaizen costing, which means cost reduction of the product. You understood the product? Then right, design has come. Now, how and all I can reduce in the product itself? That is second. Third will be general Kaizen costing. Now you can ask, what is the specific costing? What is the general Kaizen costing? The general Kaizen costing, we'll talk it a little later, is about when you reduce the cost through some method there by application. Now what we call business process mapping. You have to do that, you will take activity-based costing. All kind of things are there. I'm not getting into that now. Because in our previous session, we handled all those things. Okay. This is the extension of our previous session. Okay. Right. So those kind of things, you have to take into account. Which means what? Whatever you will learn here, that can be used across the industry. Fourth, functional group management. That's what our Parik was saying, very nicely. It can't be silos. It can't be silos. When it makes in silos, what will happen? One division will reduce the cost. Other division will increase the thing. So altogether, when you look at it, the company would have paid more money. Those kind of things you look at in transfer pricing. When you are doing a transfer pricing, when you want to measure the performance and how you want to reward your executives for their performance, that time, the transfer pricing, taking into responsibility centers are being handled. Okay. So this is important. Then product costing, manufacturing cost containment. How do you contain the cost? Two things. One is cost reduction, another is cost containment. If we can't reduce the cost, Okay, at least I must know how to contain. Okay, so Olympus Optical is using these 5 techniques to bring down the cost. So first we talk about target costing. So let's understand the definition. Target costing is applied during the design feed-forward mechanism to retool the design of a new product to reduce the cost by maintaining desired level of product functionality and quality. Whatever that is being done, expectations of the customers have to be met. There is nothing to negotiate that. Let's understand. Target costing doesn't mean just because you're reducing cost, you cannot say I reduced the quality. Sorry, not acceptable. Why? Today, quality cannot be negotiated, non-negotiable. How do you know that? If you look at it today, even law, if you look at anything that you talk about, in olden days, when you went for a vegetable, okay, my mother used to say, when you go and buy this lady's finger, you will have to be careful. You say, she said, don't buy nice things you will bring. Why? You have to choose it properly. If you don't choose, what we call buyer beware. Today, how it is saying, now today, we are saying seller beware. If you don't give me a proper thing, you will be sued and you will be made to pay. So please understand today. So, having a quality is not a favor. Okay? Having quality is the most important thing, minimum what we have to do. And this we will have to keep in mind. Right? Okay. How we are done target costing Olympus. Identify target price, we have done that. Target price are done established. Then product engineers look at creative ways to maintain desired level of functionality and quality. Please understand, this is what I'm saying. So, we need to be very clear when you're talking about costing, when you are talking about management accounting, it is not the domain of accountants alone. We need to work with a lot of other people, engineers, scientists, the designers, everybody you should be able to be. That is why our CA Institute very wisely has put General Management Communication skills. Today we call it MCS. Okay, for all the students. So the students will learn how to actually interact. The more and more they interact when they learn, when they go to industry, they can put that action. Okay, so the way the IGA has done, our institute has done, is a tremendous job. Okay, actually, all the kind of things what we are doing is to prepare our people for the industry. Yeah, we are able to see that. Okay, so target costing, one such thing that we need to understand. Okay, right. So when you're talking about things, what technique is used is what we call value engineering. So I'm giving all these kind of topics. Please go through these topics. Okay. Each one is a seminar material itself. Value engineering itself we can take about 2 hours. Okay, so I'm going to just cover the things how they are done. So you take it up and start working on it. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, I'm willing to talk to you even after the session is over. I leave my number. We can always talk. Okay. First, it tries to reduce the number of parts in the product. The more the products, what will happen? The more problem. So reduce the part. As much simplify. Second, it eliminates expensive, labor-intensive kind of thing. Third, replaces metal and glass component with the plastics, cheaper plastics, but same functionality. Lastly, it pressures suppliers, both internal and external, to reduce the cost aggressively. So, when the company is actually having a target of profit, what they're doing, the bottom line is being addressed by reducing cost again and again aggressively. So I can tell you from my own experience in consulting and training, about 20-30 years back, when I did a program for Metas TVS, Brakes India, okay, company, I can tell you there's nothing wrong. I was leading a program on a cost management, and I said the same thing what I'm saying. That time I told them, whether you like it or not, the days are coming now, you will be asked to bring down the cost every year. All the executives, all the people. so unhappy with me. They said, come on, sir, what nonsense you are speaking. So, see, already we are the lowest cost. How can you say this? No, just because you are a trainer and a consultant, you can't say anything you want. I mean, they really got heated up. Okay? Because the TVS takes the training very seriously. Okay, that is why they are doing very well. I want to know this. I didn't know that. Okay, the general manager was sitting like anyone else. President or general manager, president of the factory. Like in a uniform, TVS, everybody wears a uniform in the factory, sitting quietly. When everybody pounced on me, he got up. Mr. Padmanabhan, I want to say something. Then he said, I am a general manager. I am in charge of this plant. I came here to listen to you, what you are saying. Then he said, only 2 days back I attended a meeting where they said, board said, you have to bring down the cost. I'm talking about 20 years back. Okay, I'm not talking yesterday. 20 years back. Okay? And we agreed to reduce the cost. Then he said, Mr. Padmanabhan, I thank you very much for bringing it. Now you have made my life easier because you broke down the ice. See, why I'm saying is all the serious industry players understand and appreciate this. So it's very nice that our institute has taken a lot of initiative. Our Committee on Management Accounting has taken initiative to bring it to us, all of us. So we'll understand. Then it pressures, that is why I'm saying, it pressures suppliers to do this. The typical product on the market is there only for 12 to 18 months. That's why we said, no. In 18 months, after 18 months, there's no use for that product. So what do you do? It is not there in the market. Nobody wants to take that product. So what do you do? That. Okay. That becomes a challenge. Okay. This I wanted to keep in mind. So that is why these company cannot, they don't afford to stop all the, they cannot have long gestation period. Everything has to be faster. Why? Okay, that's the way customer wants. I want you to keep this in mind. The focus is always customer, customer, customer. Okay. Then product specific Kaizen costing. This technique enabled rapid redesign of the product during the early stage of manufacturing. Once you have found it, then if you think, okay, some manufacturing design can be changed at the initial stage, they will do it. Okay. Seeing on the cost overrun. Product specific, during the trial run on this, they have found, management discovered, products is more than 10% of a thing cost. We said, the target cost, they have put something and they found 10% more. Further, when they went to production, the costs were even higher. Overall product costs were additional 5, making the total cost overrun by 15%. I told you when we started the session, the Olympus has got excellent cost management system and they could have been happy with that. They are not happy. They want to do better than what they are. Okay. So when they've done that, they find at the manufacturing stage itself is 15% more. Normally, he says, normally, if it is 10% more overrun than the target cost, they will not do. So what does it mean? Just look at it. No? If it is more than 10%, they are not going to do. Which means what? The 10% is the kind of thing, it will cut down the cost. So they are not interested. So which means that we can safely assume what? They must be making about 20% profit. Okay. 20% will be their sure for profit. Cost will be maybe 6%, and at least minimum 20% will be there. So when they say, I don't want more than 10%, which means what? Okay, I'm putting 30 if I have my margin, okay, 10% gone, okay, let me 20. So he says, anything more than 10, they will not touch it. Now it is 15. So normally they do, but they have not done this here. Why? Because the company considered this as a flagship project, the most important product. This product has to be sold. This product has to be launched. There is no second question about that. Because why? If you don't do, someone else is going to do. Because the need of the market is going to be fulfilled either by you or by someone else. So they took it as a challenge. That is why we are taking it as a case study. So for the new camera, window opportunity was just 11 months after the launch. If you want to do anything, you must do it within 11 months. Otherwise, there is no point in doing it. Right? So how did you do? 4 major ways of cost reduction data. During the time, Olympus Optical reduced by 4 ways. By what? 1. Decreasing number of products in the product. How many parts? If you say 10, they try to make it about 8 or 7. Without losing the functionality. Replacing certain material with cheaper ones. In a way, functionality should not be affected. Quality should not be affected. Managing supplier cost. I don't know, how many of you remember when Tata introduced that small car? Remember? What happened? A lot of fanfare, the Tata said that they'll give a 1 lakh car. But they could not do it. All the suppliers agreed to pay at a very, very reduced, cost. But company could not make it. So what happened? Not only Tata's lost, but all the ancillary companies which invested on that also lost. I think later on Tata would have made good. I mean, that's a different thing. My only point is, it's very important. That is why the target sale is important and we must make sure it is accepted by the customers. Okay, transferring production overseas. That is again trouble today. In the pandemic situation, it has become more problem. That is why you see the supply chain is affected all over the world today. Globally, it is affected. So, this has been done before that. That is why we are talking about this. Right. The primary rule for the products is functionality and quality have to remain constant. Quality is non-negotiable. From the customer's perspective, the last stylus zoom off production line had to be identical to the first. Which means what they are going to offer now should be equal or better than the product what they are given earlier. But at the reduced cost. That is the challenge. Then we are talking about general Kaizen costing. This on the product manufactured, assumption here is the design is already set, the contrast, the target costing specific. What is that? General Kaizen costing can be particularly effective. It addresses manufacturing processes that are used across the several product generations. So, if all of you are already aware of the activity-based costing, so when will you say ABC is used? When a product is going through several processes. Okay, then we are talking about it. 1. And number 2, when the automation is very high, then we are talking about ABC. So here, like just look at it, it addresses manufacturing processes that are used across several product generations. In such a case, savings achieved here can be used in other products also. So that is why it is called general Kaizen costing. Previously, we saw specific Kaizen costing. So, in general Kaizen costing, management set cost reduction. This is exactly what Parikh has been talking about. Where you actually set a target. How much it should be reduced. Okay. That is actually covered in the general Kaizen costing. Sorry. Olympus Optical audit the approach. Olympus Optical approach focuses primarily on reducing material, labor, all kind of thing. We talked about it. At TASNO, that is where the cameras are being manufactured, the company set the individual cost reduction goal for each assembly line. So if you remember, each assembly line is a cost pool. And there only all the things are distributed. for each of the internally produced component of Silas Group to achieve those goals which are designed to be challenging but attainable. So this is very, very important. So when we do the MCS, we actually talk about a goal. When you're talking about a goal should be achieved, but it should be challenging. If it is not challenging, it is not a goal. Okay. Today, what we are talking about is people say you have to change the goal so that to make the life comfortable. Sorry, goal will not make the life comfortable. That clarity we must have. Okay, but it must be challenging. To achieve those goals, which are designed to be challenging but attainable, workers undertook variety of actions, including find ways to speed up the manufacturing. This is exactly what our Parik has been talking about. So he said, when you are able to achieve that, you should be willing to give them incentives. Okay, this is very important because no, let's be very clear. It is not that workers work only for money alone. They work for their satisfaction. They want to be recognized for what they have done, their contribution. Okay. One of the ways of recognizing contribution is buying incentive. This clarity we must have. Right. Functional group management. This technique consists of breaking a product process in autonomous groups and treat them as a profit center. Okay. I talked about this responsibility center before, the earlier part of the session. Now, what is the difference between cost center and a profit center? Look at it. No? What is the kind of thing? In a cost center, what is the only focus? You reduce cost. How do you reduce the cost? One of the simple way of reducing cost is to increase the production. The more and more you produce, what will happen? The unit cost will come down. So you can say, I'm a great cost center. Fine. So in this process, what happens? You start producing things which actually nobody wants. So you don't know when you go for a audit, when you are looking at the audit, when you are looking at closing stock, you can see this. You will find there will be a lot of products, parts will be there, which will not be used at all, but still will be there. That is why you must do a check. That value is actually zero. Okay, sir, they'll say, for a bank, this kind of all kind of things. So these things will have, okay? This is where your cost management thing is actually work for you. So please make sure that itself we know whether company is having good process or not. If not, then it must be brought to the attention of the management. It will be a question of time. The company will make a loss. So it's very, very important that how you handle it. Okay. So now when we are talking about this, what we are talking? We are talking about management control system. Management control system is also need to be robust. Okay, that is why I am pushing this idea. It also needs to be robust. So when you're talking about cost management is simply not only one dimension. It is a multi-dimension. Okay, right. When you make a profit center, what happens? Then you become accountable for the profit. So the incentive given out of the profit the unit that particular department makes or assembly line makes rather than cost. So this clarity we must have. That is why cost management is very, 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 very important, complex kind of work. It is actually strategy. I liked when Mr. Parik said that. Okay? Cost management is actually the part of the strategic management. So you need to be very clear when you're talking about the cost management, what purpose that it is going to serve. Okay? Yes. Right. The functional group management is for increases both cost and profits and greater revenue. Something, okay. The second motivation is a change of mind that functional group management induces. Converting production line into profit center helps the group to better understand their contribution to the company's overall profitability. Actually, once they know, okay, I am making money for my company, they feel happy. All of us like happy, no? All of us feel very nice in contributing. Yeah, we have seen that, no? In the COVID times, even a small, very simple people who don't have much money, they have contributed the COVID fund. We have seen that. I have seen it in Madras. And all of you would have seen it in various parts, wherever you are living. Okay? So, which means they're happy. They don't even know to whom they are giving. Please understand. Okay? They're simply happy that somebody who is benefited. This is important. So, which means the moment you make a contribution, the employees are going to be happy. So, this is important. Right. What are the production process? They have got 10 autonomous groups. Autonomous means what? Everybody can take the decision of the resources. Which means what? For all practical purposes, these production processes run like separate companies. I have seen that in Breaks India. Breaks India, they have got unit. Okay, they have brought it up to unit. Unit means 4-member team, 5-member team, like that. And that has been made responsible for this profit and cost reduction, all kind of. They are doing very well. That is why TVS is doing very well. I want it more. The capacity of factory is increased, leading to real performance improvement. For example, the first 3 years of functional group management, about 80% of the profit improvements came from the changes that increased the output, while remaining 20% from the cost reduction. This is exactly what our Parik has been mentioning. When you work as a team, this is exactly, which means what? The money that you are investing on the cost management will pay you several times. So, investing in a good cost management system is not an expenditure, but an investment. This is something we need to prevail to our own clients. Okay? Once you can do that, then it is a lot more easier. Okay, this is something we have been doing, and we are quite happy about the results. So, product costing. That's what I said, no? Now we are talking about product costing. So, what happened? Previously, what we said, product costing is done. The moment your product costing is done at the design stage itself, and nothing can be done. But what is that this company Olympus has put? Throughout the value chain, you can go on reducing cost. As and when you find an opportunity to cut the cost, they have cut the cost. Okay. So, the product cost is what happening, it comes down. That's the idea. So, product costing helps to coordinate. First, determine if the new products being manufactured at the target cost. You know that with the target cost, because that's what we said. Whether we like it or not, we need to do at the target cost. Why? That's the only way I can ensure I get a target profit. Only when I get a target profit, I can be in business. Okay? That's exactly what we are saying. The second is to ensure production processes are operating at expected level of efficiency. Okay, that is important. If the outputs are not produced the way it has been designed, then the prices will go up. So we'll have to be careful. Third, identify unprofitable products for the further action. You have made everything, but people are not buying. What do you do? Okay, that is what you call annual sale. You give it away for everybody. Okay. So when you're doing at a discount, what happens? Actually, you are losing money. Please understand. That's the design fault. Which means you are not able to understand what the market is wanting. So this will have. Are you making a product for the what do you call two concepts of marketing? You would have known the push marketing and pull marketing. The pull marketing makes use of what just in time. Pull means what? The company, the consumer must say demand. I want this. Give me this. Then it becomes a pull marketing, which means what? The inventory will not get stuck. Okay, in the godowns and in the dealers' places. It will keep on moving. That is called pull marketing. So the pull marketing, so which means what? If you want to do just in time, the just in time has to be connected with the pull marketing. See, that's what I'm saying. The entire system. They're talking about cost management, my friends. Please understand. It is simply not one dimension. So that is why today chartered accountants will have to be very clear about the strategic management as well. Without a strategic management knowledge, we may not be able to get the best. Okay? And I believe, earnestly believe, chartered accountants are well equipped to handle this. Our ICA has been giving us like this opportunity. Whoever has done, they are actually sharing the knowledge very freely and happily. And why? Because they have been acknowledged by people like you. I am so flattered when 2,000 people are listening. See, what more I can ask for? Okay, I put about 4 or 5 days time work in this, but I know when 2,000 people are listening, I'm flattered. I'm happy. I'm paid. I mean, return ROI, return on investment. I already got it. Okay? Like that, each one has been giving. So it is for us to make use of that opportunity. And the third is to identify unprofitable. If it is unprofitable, find out why it's unprofitable. Go back to the drawing board. Go back to the board. Whether if the customer still want it, find out how I can give that at the reduced cost. So we talked about cost reduction versus cost containment. So where you cannot reduce the cost, then you must at least contain the level. Okay, that is what we are saying. So that distinction you can read it. So in cost management, when it comes to Olympus, relies on product cost to monitor the actual cost. They're not, see, again, I want to know. They look at product costing as a number, as a score. So, which means that is the one what is gating them. Okay? When the cost unacceptable level, then they start working. They put other products. We talked about 5 products, 5 methods of cost reduction. They choose one of them and kind of do this. Okay. This is something I thought, kind of thing. Next. The company's approach, the primary role of is specifically we have said maintenance of their previously achieved cost reduction objective. The firm dedicates just one technique. Okay, it is just not passive activity. Product costing is a passive activity. All other things are active, where you need to kind of involve. Okay, it is simply not number crunching activity. Okay, so this is the reference thing I've given here. Please read that. They have given a full details, graphs and all kind of things, which I, of course, for our purposes, I have not done that. So you are free to go through that. You are given that, you can check that. But I think you need to pay for this. Okay, you don't get it free. I won't know how much money you have to pay for this. I've been fortunate to have this because I used to teach. I said I am Indore. As a faculty, I had access to this. I used to teach this in the students. So I did a little modification and presented it. Okay. With this, I'll close my presentation and open to question. Thank you very much for the opportunity and patient listening. Sir, over to you, Harpreet Singh, for your work. Yeah. Yes, sir. Harpreet Singh? Yeah. Over to you, sir. Sir, not audible. Sir, not audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Padmanabhan sir, thank you very much for your wonderful dedication, especially in terms of your example of Olympus. So it has given me a point to think. We appreciate a lot of things around us. Many of us might have used cameras of Olympus. So I think we should use our CA mind to that. If some company, some product is doing good, we must get into the background of that company. So as a chartered accountant, we will be able to help our and as a clients also, it will give us idea. And this thing regarding cost reduction through designing of product, if design does not allow you to reduce the cost, then profitability can be a factor. Basically, and certain questions.
No, really,
Uh,
really a very nice presentation, Mr. Padmanabhan.
since your
Really great, sir. Really great. So we can
Thank you,
proceed
sir.
with
Thank
yeah,
you
question
so
answers.
much.
it's,
Please.
Thank
Very
you,
good,
sir.
sir. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you so
Happy,
much.
please take the questions, please.
yeah, sir. Sir, as the presentation was very made very simple by sir, so I think people don't have very too many questions, but they are asking for the PPT of this presentation. There
Yeah.
is one question I am not clear about this. It is written in a company where manpower cost is 50% and marketing.
Yeah.
Uh, because sir is the expert, so he can understand what exactly this question means. For me, it is not the full question.
This is, see, again, no, we need to be very clear in this. See, what happens is when you are talking about any kind of thing, at the design stage, we'll have to be careful. Okay. When you are talking about manpower thing, how much you need manpower for that? You don't take anybody and everybody as and when I want employment, this, that. In our country, the strange things are happening. The sense, how much people you should hire, somebody else is deciding. Okay. So that, that's very difficult. How can you run like that? You can't run. So, which means, see, very interestingly, when I did the RNL, I can tell you this. So, if you take the balance sheet of RINL and other steel manufacturers, you will find RINL is having huge manpower cost. Huge manpower cost. But all the things has been designed for what? So much of production. With the production is not happening, then what happens? All these costs becomes very high. Okay, this is why I'm saying. So you will have to look at it at that context. There's no point in simply saying, we are taking more people, so they have to be axed. No, that is not the idea. No. See, again, who designed it? It is not a worker who designed it. Did the worker design company? No. Policy, did he design? No. See, as a person who have been fortunate to have a better understanding, better learning, and it is our responsibility. For the design stage itself, you will have to be very clear. Now, how much people you actually need, and only so much you need to take, then it will be a lot more easier. Okay, that's my personal kind of thing. Having gone through consulting, a lot of things, this is what I find. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Thank you, sir. I think
Mr. Padmanabhan,
it helps.
I have a question.
There is one.
Yes, please take after that. I take her. Please take the question. I take after that.
Apart from Sanjeev Shah, from CFO of Anand and Anand. So, you would share something about cost reduction in service industry.
Sir, if you talk about today, you take IT industry now. Now, IT industry is what is happening. Just look at it, no? When what you call the body shopping was there, no? When our cheap labor, what you call arbitrage, okay? The Americans, Europeans, they have been giving all their projects. Why? Because of pure arbitrage. Our cost is less, their cost is more. But what is that they demanded? As and when I give a project, you should be able to execute. Okay, I give a project which actually requires 1,000 people. Now, if I want 1,000 people, I don't have 1,000 people. So what the Indian companies did, they actually went and recruited a lot of young people. No, even before they completed college, they went and recruited. Okay. Now, the moment they recruited, what happened? The projects did not come their way. If the projects have come their way, there is a match happening. Then the life is happy. Everybody is happy. When it is not happening, what the companies are doing? The companies are asking the employees what they call bench. Which means, if they agree to pay you 100 rupees, they'll say maybe they'll give you 30% or 40%. That's all. 60% they don't pay. Because that's the agreement. Now, So what do you do with these kind of people? When I don't know how many of you remember when IT industry went through a pain about 2-3 years back. What they said very interestingly. Everybody said you are reducing the amount of money that you are paying to IT professional. They said no. We are paying whatever we agreed. We are paying. Then you look at it. What is that they agreed? What they agreed is the amount of money as a salary what they pay is very less. The incentive is more. So when you say somebody is making a lot of money in IT industry, that person is a person who is a competent and able to deliver. So this is something we need to keep in mind. Okay. Just because you have gone to some industry, something good, it doesn't mean that you will get a lot of money. So this will. So in other words, let's understand the way you are talking about your machinery, all kind of things, technology. Here you are talking about the ability to have a technical skills appropriate to the project. When it is not there, then those people may be benched or they have to wait until another project comes. So this is a challenge for this, for IT. Yeah.
Sir, thank you very much. We have another very interesting question from CA Bharat Kumar from Tata Chemicals Limited.
Yeah.
Sir, in seasonal markets, the
Yeah.
demand may not be predicted properly and hence target costing may not be worked out properly. In such a situation, what is the best way to manage the cost?
Very good. It's a good question. Now, see, if you look at it now, almost everything is seasonal. What do you think about the gift industry? What do you think about the cracker industry? That's also seasonal, huh? Only during Deepavali, everybody buys. So can you manufacture everything through Deepavali? That's just thing, See, my only point is that is where your skills as a professional comes. You should be able to kind of say what are the kind of things are seasonal. What are the kind of things are fast moving? The kind of fast moving you should be able to kind of manufacture all over the year. What you need to do only that time. That again you will have to do during that period. Those kind of planning we have to be done. Okay, there is no other way. There is no other way.
Right,
Because
sir. One more question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please, sir. There is one more question as what company is doing in Japan,
Yeah.
how we can do this, and is it possible to achieve in India?
Yeah, it's very important, sir. The lot of things that they are done in India as well. The Japanese techniques are working in India as well. For example, Maruti, Hero, the Honda, they are all using the techniques and they are doing well. Not only India, all over the world they are able to use this, and they have found it is not a country specific. Like what there was a belief, like what he said is very true. It is a country specific, which means it works only for Japan. It is not true. Now it has been established. Now, what is more important when we talk about Japanese management is they talk about life employment. All your life you have got employment. They will not sack you. Which means what? There, the employee's commitment has been guaranteed. So you asked a very good question. They will not sack you. Now, is it happening in India? Yes. If you look at most of the companies, they don't sack people. Now, how do you bring that commitment of culture to work? That is important. That is important. No? That is where we need the entire ecosystem of the country to move up. Okay. So, this is important. Whatever it is, you need to kind of talk and work it out, negotiate. The strikes and other kind of thing, disruptions, they all add to the cost. So that culture has to be there. That culture has to be brought. Okay. That is why, it is working much better in Japan than any other country. But other countries are following it. Okay. They are doing. It is working. Maybe not to the extent, of Japan, because not everybody is using that culture. Yes.
Right. And so one question is how to compete with China.
China is a totally different ballgame, sir. I mean, why I'm saying, see, I've been to ISET, Harvard, Shanghai Center. Very interestingly, in China, you are not expected to beg. I think you must be knowing. If you've gone to China, you know that. But no, those persons will come to you and say, sir, give me $1. Give me $1. They actually beg you. Actually, you know, it's not happening. No. What they do is such kind of people they remove from there. They are not there. Okay, those people cannot come anywhere near you. Right? That's the point I'm saying. So that is a different way of managing the system. There, the companies, when you have management, they don't have to take a decision about the employee. The employee is not doing, they are not productive enough. You need to talk about what they call governor of that particular place. He will replace someone else. Okay? Maybe this fellow will go somewhere else. So, in a way, if you look at it, China is also doing like what you call life employment, like Japan, but not exactly the finer way like Japan. Maybe it will take time. Again, the culture to culture, nation to nation is all differs. But I want you to know the fundamental way, if you look at it, the labor force, when you're talking about, it is there. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the productivity. It is all granted. Whatever you said, it will be done. Okay? So, here now we have that difficulty. Still, we have got a little more, long way to go on that. Probably we'll catch up. But in a lot of industry, we have started doing well. Okay? I think it's only a question of time that we catch up with the center. That's my personal belief. Yeah.
And one question is, sir, we chartered accountants are providing services under competitive market with an expectation of high quality. How we should manage costs?
Yeah. That's what I said, no, sir. You need a kind of thing. You know, this is very important. Now, what you call, you need to be very clear what is billable. What is, you know, when, see, by the time that what we have spent on a charter accountant kind of thing, it is not a billable. All of you have put a lot of time, energy, me, okay? That is for the common good. So, that is the important part of the profession, okay? Now, are you doing something that customer wants? So, if you are doing only what I call compliance work, you know, tax audit, GST, all kind of, that will be less only because they don't add value. It only makes it, yes, important. Compliance. Yes, you have to do it. So I will do it. But it is not adding value. But if you don't do it, they are in trouble. I'm not saying. The nuisance value is there. But what value it is adding to the customer? Nothing. So, as chartered accountant, we should be also kind of able to identify what are the value adding services and then go about it. That is what works. Okay? Yeah, that's what I want to kind of do. Of course, I'm not saying we are not giving quality of work, but are we giving the quality of work in the area where they need, which actually gives them more opportunity to expand the business. Something like that I'm talking. Yeah.
Really wonderful, sir. We have to give more than the routine expectation of the client. Then only our top line will increase.
Yes.
Because in our profession, I think top line is more important. Sorry, cost we can manage. When we give value, it will increase our top line. So with this, our Nanda sir had one question from you. So we will request Nanda sir. I will request Nanda sir.
My last question to you, Mr. Padmanabhan.
Yes, sir.
So many people are listening to this program. Your message, how practicing chartered accountants, particularly the younger ones, can take consulting as their occupation, how they can excel in consulting assignments. What are the skill sets which you look into this?
Yeah, the most important skill set that you need is to listen. We must listen. That's it. Okay? When you listen, actually, to the client, they actually, you can put your pain point. You can understand the pain point. Okay. Once you are able to understand the pain point, then you know there is a problem. Okay. Then you tell them what is that you can do about it. Then they are willing. Okay. Otherwise, they are not willing. I mean, believe me. You may say that I put this and they don't want.
You are correct.
They don't
You are
want.
correct. Listening is
all
an
I'm
important
saying.
part of communication. Listening is an
Yeah.
important part of communication. Very great.
My mentor used to say very nicely, he will say, it is, taking care of the clients is like a mother. The mother, when it takes care of the baby only cries. But for all of us, we'll say the baby is crying. Only mother will know why baby is crying. Is it for milk? Or is it because uncomfortable? Is it because it wetted its cloth? From the child's cry, the mother will be able to understand and go. He will say, the clients are like our children, babies. You should be able to do that. This is what my mentor used to say. Okay, I just thought, what my mentor said, I'm sharing with all of you. Okay, yeah.
Great, sir. Great. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Sir, Harpreet, the rest is yours.
Yeah, we have.
You are not audible, Harpreet. You are not audible. Some network issue, it seems. Do we have Mr. Huda there?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So,
Please carry on. Please carry on.
Yes, come.
Sir,
Yeah.
power of listening. Today, your example of mother, I think nobody sitting here will ever forget this example and will like to imbibe this quality of listening. This is the very much important thing. And as in the words of our respected Nanda sir, जो Nanda sir हमेशा कहते हैं, every good thing come to an end. So this wonderful meeting is coming to an end. And before I request our chairman, Mr. for his vote of thanks, I would like to thank Nanda sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity for taking through this session and keeping me in company of such learned people like Parik sir and Padmanabhan sir. It is real sheer pleasure for me and it is a blessing for me, I would say. And looking forward to be in touch with you for my training part also. And with these words, I request Chairman sir to thanks.
Huda sir, you have to give the vote of thanks.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, Harpreet sir. Thank you to our guest speaker Padman sir for very wonderful and enlightening session. Now, Rohtak branch of NAIC of ICI is thankful to Central Council member and Honorable Chairman of Committee of Management Accounting, Sri Chiranjot Singh Nanda ji, and Central Council member and Vice Chairman of Committee of Management Accounting, C.A. Nandkishore Hegde ji in absentia. And thank you to our guest speaker Padman sir. And we are very, very thankful to Chiranjot Nanda sir for giving an opportunity to host this wonderful virtual CPR meeting and hoping for more virtual CPR meeting session in future. And in end, I'm making thank you to all the respected members for attending today's virtual seminar session. And stay home, stay safe, and help the needy person in near about you. Thank you.
Great, sir. Great session, sir. Thanks to all, sir. Have a safe and blessed evening,
Wonderful
sir.
session.
Great, sir. Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Stay safe, friends. Take care of yourself. Peace.
Great. Great.
Thank you very much.